Hey guys, so since the community interview with Darian, who is the Clash of Clans community manager, we have received loads of hints and unspoken clues towards what's coming in this next huge Clash of Clans update. And Darian even said himself that this update is going to bring many things that Clashers have wanted for a very long time into the game. And this time, Supercell has had time to reflect on what went wrong with the builder base, and they can make adjustments to make this update one of the best updates in the history of Clash of Clans. So in today's video, I've compiled together every single hint or clue that Darian has given us in regards to what we can expect in these future updates. Some of them are very subtle hints, but others are straight up telling us what's going to be coming and what they're adding inside of the update. So I'll get into all of that in a few seconds, but firstly, something that everyone always wants to know more so than what is coming is when it's coming. And I'll just go ahead and tell you guys right now that the first part of this update, which includes Builder Hall 8, is going to be sometime in the month of March, and then the second major part of the update is going to be before the halfway point of the year, and sometime in the summer, likely in May or June. So anyway, let's get into some of these hints and clues. So one of the first things that I wanted to share with you guys is a little summary that he gave us of the entire interview in a whole, and basically what he said is some balance changes to the both Builder Hall and Main Village. There's going to be new troop levels in the Builder Hall, some new levels in the Main Village, the abbreviation MV stands for Main Village, so there is going to be some new troop levels in the Main Village as well. There's going to be more buildings for Builder Hall, and then there's going to be a traveling character who brings you interesting goodies, and then hopefully some other clan war tools. I'll get more into that traveling character in a few moments, but let's quickly go ahead and move on to the next one because that is just a quick summary of everything. We'll dive into more detail in a bit. So this one is where Chief Similar Leonis, or whatever his name is, said he asked the question, I know there won't be a definitive answer on this, but is there any new troops on development? And then he replied with, let's just say this is going to be a very fun year, which basically is yes, they are working on troops. And then he says, we know there's been a drought for new characters and heroes for the main village. We recognize that and we will hopefully remedy that situation. So obviously we haven't received new troops in a long time, and a lot of people have been expecting a new troop. I myself, I like to think I'm fairly reasonable in what to expect in the upcoming updates, and a new troop is not too far out of the question, but the part that really threw me a curve was the heroes part. I never thought we needed more heroes into Clash of Clans. I think like 3 is already quite a few, but the fact that they said we are lacking heroes for the main village, that really interests me. So I'm really curious if we might be seeing a brand new hero added into the game as well, but we'll have to wait and see more on that. But right here, it does look like they are pointing towards, yes, we are receiving new troops and possibly even a new hero as well. So that is going to be really interesting. And then in this next little post, he says, someone was asking about sneak peeks and all of that, and he says, no hints yet, but soon, I promise. We're working on sneak peek material already. Let's just say so many of the things that people have been asking for are finally being put into the game. So that is really great. So kind of similar to the builder base situation where they said that they were going to be releasing a bunch of things that Clashers have been asking for a long time. For example, we have the gem mine, we had the night village and stuff like that. So similar, again, they are promising that they're going to give us stuff that we have been asking for a long time. However, like I mentioned earlier in the video, they've had time to reflect on what went wrong in the builder base and how people didn't feel as much of a connection towards that. So hopefully that means they are going to adapt to that, and then they are going to adjust their way of introducing them into the game and hopefully give us what we want for what we want. So anyways, moving on, the question is, this was actually from one of the interviews that Darian did on the Springtrap show. And the question was, would you ever incorporate Boom Beach's idea of operations into Clash of Clans? And then Darian giggles away and then replies with no comment. A lot of unexpected things will be released this year. So that, once again, is just backing up that there is going to be a huge update this year. They say they have a lot of things that they are working on. And they're pretty much promising us, or not quite promising, but they are saying that there is going to be a lot of new content, especially ones that we have been asking for. They are going to be releasing this year. And then the part about the Boom Beach's operations, I've already made a full dedicated video on this, but I'll go ahead and give you guys a quick rundown on it anyways. So the fact that they have to say no comment is just showing that they are hiding or trying to cover something up without having to lie. So it's as if he's trying to keep it secretive. But if, for example, say, operations were not coming to Clash of Clans, it's not something they're working on, it's not going to come in this future update or anything, and then so the answer to that would obviously just be no, and they don't want to lie about that, because if they say no and then it does end up coming, then that he's basically labeled a liar. And the fact that they have to say no comment, there's two possible outcomes. One, it is coming, and two, it is not. And if it wasn't coming, and he replied with no comment, then what would be the point of hiding nothing? So that leads me to believe the only answer when someone says no comment like this, in a situation like this, basically is the equivalent to yes, but I can't tell you any more information. So I personally think that Boom Beach's operations is definitely coming to Clash of Clans this year. That is my personal opinion. You are totally entitled to whatever you think, but that is what I think about that. And then anyways, from the Springtrap show as well, the question was, have you guys discussed new troops at lower town halls? And then Darian replied with, I think my mom is watching the stream. Not relevant. And then number two, it's going to be an exciting year and you'll be rewarded for that patience. So once again, that's sort of similar to no comment, except kind of rewording it. He didn't really answer the question saying, are there going to be new troops at lower town halls? Instead, he just says basically that you'll be rewarded for that patience, which is to me the equivalent to a yes as well. And then I'll talk a little bit more about those new troops in a fair bit. I believe like halfway through the whole interview, I have some more questions on that. But anyways, moving on, the next question is, hello Darian, any new troops in the main village permanently? We would love it. And then he sarcastically says, a giant woolly mammoth that tap dances over walls as he pirouettes and shoots out tusks of doom? No? How about a singing duck? And then after all of the sarcasm, he says, we are looking at introducing new troops at some point. We want to make sure we're adding a troop that fills a specific niche that hasn't been filled already, or is a troop that offers something unique and different. And in my previous video, if you recall, I was talking about a new character that could be added to Clash of Clans, and I believe I'll talk a little bit more about that in a few secs as well. It's somewhere in this entire interview. I literally have a ton of screenshots in front of me. I can't find it at the moment, but basically I'm going to clarify something with you guys on that new troop in a moment. But anyways, first we'll go over to this question, where he asks, will there be clan wars for builder base? And then Darian replied with, we don't want to copy Clash Royale game mechanics, but there can be some crossovers such as builder base, 2v2, 5v5, or even friendly tournaments, which isn't even really relevant to the clan wars thing that they were talking about. However, I guess 2v2 could be a small clan war. It is adding, yeah, I guess in a way they could be clan wars, just like really mini clan wars. But so yeah, that is basically the answer to that. I don't really have much more to say about that. But this next part is the part that really intrigues me and I find really interesting. So the question was, are there going to be more goblin map levels? And he says, I'm gonna have to say no comment once again. And as I told you guys before, no comment, I take that as a yes, as they are being secretive and they can't really give us more information. Because why would they say no comment even if the answer was no, unless they wanted to throw us another curve? But that is very unlikely because then we would probably call him out online to us. But anyways, following up that whole goblin map, there was another question sort of similar to it. It is a long question, so bear with me. Any plans on additional goblin levels at Town Hall 11 Plus? Up until Town Hall 11, there was an extra goblin level at each town hall that scaled with a mortar and wizard towers, so that it took 2 shots to kill a goblin that was maxed for that town hall level. However, at Town Hall 11, not only is there a lack of additional goblin levels, but mortars have 2 upgrades onto themselves. This combined with a usual wizard tower upgrade makes goblins incredibly non-viable as a farming troop at Town Hall 11. Thanks for your time and for the work you put in, appreciate it greatly. And then he replied with, we don't have anything planned for adding goblin levels at Town Hall 11, but they live so close to their village, so who knows what might happen to them if they ever remember to go back to their ancestral home. Who knows what they might one day unearth there. And then he replies with, this is cool. I like the idea of bringing back the goblins into the setting of the COC world. And then he said, they do have their own map after all. So it sounds to me like he's hinting towards something with the whole goblin map and then maybe the single player mission that we completed so early on in the Clash of Clans game. I personally haven't even touched that thing for the longest time, so I barely remember it, but I do remember there was a single player mission where we had to defeat the whole goblins, where it was sort of like a small story mode. Perhaps Clash of Clans is working on something like that and bringing back the single player missions, which would be really cool and is something people have been asking for a long time. So anyways, moving on to the next question. We want the book of, or someone was asking about the book of everything and some of those rewards that you get, and he replied with, we want the book of everything to be something you really have to work hard for. It's not meant to be easily obtained. However, we are going to be introducing more magic items in the next update. So there you see it. In the next update sometime in March, we are going to be getting more magic items inside of the shop. And then he even hinted towards what one of them could be. He says, yes, we are adding more magic items in the next update. Did someone say walls? And then also someone even in the Springtrap interview, so this is from 2 separate interviews, one of the questions was, will we ever see the blue walls again? And he replied with no comment. So that is basically a yes. And if we combine that with the hints that we got with the new magic items being somewhat related to walls, I think these new magic items might be able to get us like an extra wall upgrade to a level that you can actually pay for with gold or something like that, or maybe it'll just give us free wall upgrades. Who knows what it could really be, but I think that we will be getting the blue walls and it might be somehow related to this magic book. Anyways, if you were to list the problems in the game, the clouding issues is probably the most difficult one to fix because it's a part of how the game was inherently designed. Fixing it would require a possible major overhaul to how the system works. It is something we're going to address later this year, hopefully after we get the major content out in the first half of the year. So the clouding part I'm not too concerned about. That is something they said they are working on, and that's going to be coming in the second half of the year after all the major content is out in the first half of the year. So there it is, basically saying that the whole bread and butter of this whole update is going to be coming in the first half, and that is where we're going to be receiving all this really cool stuff added into the game and most of the features that we've always wanted. So really looking forward to that, and this update is sort of like a whole 2-part thing, so I'm really looking forward to that. Alright, is the team happy about what the last update did for encouraging players to go to the next level? Are the results good? We're actually very happy with the increased level of upgrading that has happened due to the clan games and magic items. You are definitely going to want to upgrade in preparation for what we have in mind when we release the next major town hall content. That is really cool. So basically somehow in this next update, being a higher town hall level is going to significantly help you out. No idea what that could be as of right now, but I am definitely going to be upgrading my mini town hall and then working on my walls for my town hall 11, because apparently whatever new game mode or new features they are adding, it is going to significantly help us out. And then over here, this is something we're actively looking at. So yes, we do plan on adding more perks, but it'll depend on what. So someone asked if they're adding more clan perks. We don't want them to be so outrageously good that lower level clans feel discouraged, so it has to be carefully balanced. But we have some really cool ideas that we can hope we can implement for the next major town hall update. So nothing really too much, or sorry, I don't really have much to add on that, but basically they are thinking of adding more clan perks. And then these next few actually are all related to Town Hall 12, and after going over all of these and compiling them all together, there is some really interesting stuff where Town Hall 12 might not even be coming. We might be getting something else instead. So anyways, can you give us a small taste of Town Hall 12? We are working on new Town Hall content, whether it's in the form of Town Hall 12 or something different. We can't say it, however, if we do add more Town Hall content, it won't just be upgrading stuff. It will be something new and different that won't be the same. It will come sooner than most people think. And then we'll go ahead and go through these. This next one is the most interesting, I would say. We're just going to read number 1. What are the prerequisites before releasing Town Hall 12? And then he replied with, who said anything about Town Hall 12? And then he said, you did, just like me and pretty much everyone else thought is he was referring to Town Hall 12. And then he replied with, really? I don't remember ever saying anything about Town Hall 12. And then I went back actually into everything, and he never actually explicitly said Town Hall 12. That was just something we kept placing in our mind and figured he was talking about. But anyways, I'll show you guys what I mean. So someone asked Town Hall 12 when, and instead of replying with Town Hall 12 will be coming out this year, he just rewords it to new Town Hall content will be out this year. And same if we go back to the first one, can you give us a small taste of Town Hall 12? He actually says whether it's in the form of Town Hall 12 or something different. So he's not actually lying, and it might not even be Town Hall 12. Then this next one, have you guys started work on Town Hall 12? Can you share any info on it? Any chance of a 2018 Town Hall 12 update? And he said, we are definitely in the middle of development for the next main village Town Hall content. It will be out this year. We want to make sure it's just not more of the same level grind and will have some unique aspect to keep you motivated to upgrade. So once again, he never explicitly says Town Hall 12, instead he says main village Town Hall content, which is again making me think that there actually is no Town Hall 12 and they have some sort of twist on this instead. And then next he says, we're looking at adding some name changes in the future that will have a gem cost. So then someone obviously says, oh, it's just like a money grab. And then they replied with, here's the thing, we want to make it affordable enough, but we don't want it to look like a cash grab. The idea behind the cost to make it feasible, but prohibitive enough where you want to do one every week, where you don't want to do one every week. So apparently you might be able to change your name up to 3 times or something, but you will have to pay gems in it. And anyways, the final question, when will the next update be? And then his reply is next month in March. So anyways, that is pretty much going to wrap up all of these, this entire compilation of all the hints and clues we have received about this upcoming huge update, even though it is 2 parts. I will definitely be the first to let you guys know about any changes to this, any more leaks or hints we receive. So make sure you are subscribed and have notifications turned on. And please do drop a like on this video if you did enjoy or learned anything new at all. It took a long time to put all of these together, go research them, and then pretty much edit the video and upload it. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.